Obviously, I'm not with you, and obviously you are the best teacher for you, okay? So please listen to your bodies this morning. Feel free to skip anything, drop anything, change anything, not do parts of the class, sit and observe, get a tea, whatever you need to do, whatever's right for you. Don't push through anything that's painful or uncomfortable. That said, you do need a yoga mat, which I'm hoping you'll have, and also a chair or a bed or a couch. Couch actually works really well because it's heavy. So if you can just have something nearby, so either like a dining room chair or be near your bed or be near your couch. If you're feeling very ambitious, then you could also use a wall. That's also very possible. But just make sure you're near something, a low credenza, I don't mind, whatever you need, basically. So as long as you've got that nearby, we are good to go. Those of you who know me just know that I need one more sip of this tea and then we'll begin. So guys, we're going to start on all fours. So if you want to head over onto your mat and pop yourself onto all fours. And we are starting nice and easy with some cat-cow. I'm just going to put this onto gallery so I can see you all. Very good. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and you're just cat-cowing away, just your own cat-cow. I haven't done anything yet this morning. I know some of you have already, but this is my warm-up for the morning. So inhaling as you open your heart and lift your tailbone, and exhaling as you round out the spine, bringing the chin into the chest. But just doing this in your own time. So just working with your cat and your cow. Beautiful. We'll make this your last round. So just come to a neutral spine. Turn the eyes of your elbows forward. So your elbow pits turn forward. Keep your arms straight. We're shrugging. Melt your heart down and then push to the top. Melt your heart down and push to the top. So it's like a cat pose in the upper body, but the lower body isn't moving. So you're melting your heart down, arms are straight, and then pushing to the top. We'll do a couple more of these. Come to the top of the shrug, so come right up to the top, and you're going to tap opposite hand to opposite shoulder. So these should be very easy, yeah? You should be able to do many of these. We're going to do 6. So keep at the top of the shrug and then stabilize through one shoulder as you lift the opposite hand. I think that's 6. I wasn't counting. Turn your hands the other way now. So palms out in front, fingertips down, palms down, and we're back to cat-cow. So rounding out the spine, tucking in the chin. But now your hands are the other way, arching the back, lifting the tail. So just cat-cow, but hands are a little bit different now. So we're working into our forearms as well. Obviously, handstands are a lot on the wrists. So we are going to take a few minutes now just to warm up everything, particularly our wrists. Take one more of these. And then sit back onto your heels, bring your hands together and draw some little circles. Turn these little circles into little roller coasters. And then roller coast the other way, broken roller coasters. Make sure you're kneeling, separate your knees, hands in prayer at your heart, back of one hand to the floor, doesn't matter which hand, and just take a little rock from side to side. Come to the top of your rock, and we're just going to move the eye of the elbow. So eye of the elbow or elbow pit forward, and then bend it out to the side. So you press it forward and bend, forward and bend. Seems like an elbow thing. It is in fact a wrist thing. Make this your last one. Come up to the top, turn the eye of the elbow inwards. So the eye of the elbow turns in and we're back to those rocks again. The same thing that we just did a moment ago. So just working into the wrist, particularly the one that's on the bottom. And then we're going to do all that on the other side. So lift up, flip your hands the other way, and we're straight away just into our rocks, rocking side to side. Just working into the wrist, just a little bit. And now come to those little elbow twirls. So eye of the elbow forward, bend it out to the side. Eye of the elbow forward and bend, forward and bend. Just a few more of those. Bring it up to the top. Turn the eye of the elbow inwards. Arm is straight, and we're back to our rocks, side to side. All right, time to get our bodies a little bit more warm. Well, mine anyway. I know some of you have done class. We're back to cat-cow. However, it's going to start to get a little harder. So pop into a normal cat-cow position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to level it up. Tuck your toes under and hover your knees. So your knees are like 1 centimeter, maybe 2 centimeters off the floor, and then do your cat-cows. So knees are not touching the floor. Obviously, if this is like hectic, put your knees back down on the floor. Do what you need to do, yeah? Make this class your own. Taking a few more of these, should be a little bit harder now. And then we're going to stay in this position with the knees hovering, and we're going to take a little walk, or a little crawl actually. So we're walking up our mat and then back down our mat with our knees not touching. Knees are not touching the floor. We should be getting warm, yes? Walking up and back, knees are hovering. Make sure the knees are close though, okay? So like 2 centimeters off the floor. Walk yourself back to, I don't know, your normal mat position and come into child's pose. Knees out wide, hands out in front, chest resting down. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. Bring your forehead down onto the mat. Take 2 big breaths into the back of your body. So you're expanding the skin on the back of your rib cage. Lifting up your head, walk your hands over to the right, pop your left hand on top of your right hand, press your left side rib cage to the top of your mat and take 2 big breaths into the left side rib. So think about stretching out the space between the ribs with your breath. And same thing to the other side. Walk the hands over to the left. Place your right hand on top of your left. Press your right side rib cage to the top of your mat. Head rests down. 2 breaths into the right side rib. And finally, bringing it out in front. Pop up onto your fingertips, so little like spider hands. Drop your chest down towards the floor. 2 breaths into the front of your chest. Making your way up to plank, but on your knees. So plank on the knees with knees apart. So from all fours, hands forward, shoulders come over the wrist. Make sure your knees are separate. So like hip distance apart, tuck your pelvis under, and we're back to our shrug. So melting the heart down and then lifting the heart up away from the floor. Try to get the eyes of the elbows to point forward and keep the arms straight. Come to the top of the shrug, hold here at the top. Stabilize through your midsection, touching opposite hand to opposite shoulder. So we're back to our shrug and our tap. You don't want your hips to move at all during these. Really lock on tight through your midsection. Let's make these a little bit harder now. Hands under shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the knees off the floor. You're still tucking your hips under. Your feet should be hip distance apart, or even a little bit wider. Same thing, shrugs and taps. thighs of the elbows forward, melt the heart down, and then lift the heart away from the floor. So we're just mobilizing through our scapula, our shoulder blades. Don't lose that plank shape with your body. So don't let your lower back sag down. Keep pulling your pubic bone up towards your belly button. Come to the top of the shrug, and we've got our tap. So really important here, you're lowering your hands back down with control and your hips are not moving. So the temptation is going to be that the hips kind of shift side to side, and we really want to fight against that. We really want to hold still through our core and through our midsection. That will do. Knees down to the floor, and we're just shifting the weight back and forward now. So you're coming over to the right, over to the left, over to the right, over to the left. And while you're doing that, start to turn your hands in a little bit of a circle, okay? So fingertips are going out to the side, fingers are going all the way back towards your knees, and then start to turn them all the way around the other direction. So it's like your fingers are making their way around a clock face. We are going to continue this same adventure, except you're going to bring the backs of the hands to the floor now. So you might want to shift your weight back, a little bit less comfortable, but we're still shifting side to side, backs of the hands to the floor, and you're making your fingers go around the clock face. So they're going around in a big circle. Beautiful. Give your wrist a little bit of a roll out, a little bit of a shake, and we're coming into downward facing dog. So hands shoulder distance apart, feet hip distance apart. I don't mind if your knees are a little bit bent, but I would really like a straight line from your wrist all the way up to your backside, all the way up to your hips. Coming forward into plank. And then as we shift back to downward dog, touch your left ankle with your right hand. So shift back, right hand touches left ankle, come forward to plank. Same thing to the other side, left hand touches right ankle, come forward to plank. One more of those on each side, and then we're going to add on slightly. So after your right hand touches your right ankle, come forward to plank and just lightly tap your right knee to the floor, and then come back. Left hand to left ankle, come forward, lightly touch your left knee to the floor. So you're alternating hands and you're alternating knees. So your right hand taps and then your right knee drops. Your left hand taps and then your left knee drops. We'll take about 4 more of these, so 2 on each side. Right hand touching left ankle and then right knee drops. Left hand touches left ankle and then left knee drops. Once you've done your 4, I hope you're counting because I'm not counting, come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. So walk your hands to your feet, forward fold, feet hip distance apart, and bend your knees a little bit as well. You can tuck in your chin, rest your head down, grab a hold of opposite elbows and just start to move from side to side, just starting to wake up through our hamstrings a little bit. We're going to come into a tension bridge. So what that is, it's a plank, but your hands go a little bit further. So we'll start to walk our hands out like we're walking into plank, but see how far you can take your hands out in front. So keep them going, keep them going, keep them going, but keep that plank shape with your body. So hips are tucked under, heart is pulling up away from the floor. That will do. Walk it back into your forward fold. We're going to do that twice more though. So come into your forward fold, take a moment here, stretch out through the hamstrings, walking through the legs, move the hips. And then let's go out for tension bridge number 2. So walk it out, Hands need to go past your shoulders, and you need to keep in a plank shape. So pubic bone moving towards your belly button moving towards the spine. See how far out you can go? And then walk it back in. We're coming into our forward fold. We have one more of these. So take your time in your forward fold, yes? Enjoy your break, bending one knee then the other, swishing the hips, trying to wake up your hamstrings if you're me. And this will be your last one. So walk it on out. Come to plank and then keep going for tension bridge. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So see how far you can go while still holding a solid plank shape with your midsection, and then walk it back in, coming into a forward fold. If you're having trouble walking back in, you're going too far. Don't go quite so far. Again, we're just in our forward fold, just moving everything around. And we're going to work into our legs just a little bit more. So come out into downward facing dog. Lift up your right leg, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, roll the hip open, press the chest back towards the left thigh. Look forward and set your right foot in between your hands. So right foot comes forward, back knee to the floor, and take a few big circles with this right arm. So just working into the right shoulder here, really reaching back behind you, taking a big breath in, and then sweeping the hands forward as you breathe out. Really think about rotating the chest up towards the ceiling, palm faces up, and then sweep it forward. We will take 3 big circles in one direction, and then 3 big circles in the other direction. So 6 circles in total, just doing them in your own time, just noticing what's happening in your shoulder, okay? So you're taking your shoulder through its full range here. Where is your shoulder a little bit sticky or a little bit clunky or a little bit tight? I believe that's about 6. Bring your hands to the floor. Connect your chest to your thigh, okay? So chest and thigh are touching. Start to shift back for Ardha Hanumanasana half split. Once your chest starts to peel off, it's time to move forward again. So you're just alternating between your hip flexor and your hamstring, but keeping your chest attached to your thigh the whole time. So you shift the hips back until the chest starts to lift. Once it starts to lift, it's time to move forward again. So just working between the back of the right leg and the front of the left hip. The next time you're in a lunge, you're going to stay there. Left hand to the floor, right hand to the knee. Take a little twist. Bring that back foot in towards your backside. Squeeze it in as close as you can get it, just using the hamstring. We are coming into side plank. So drop that foot down to the floor. Take this right leg back, lift the right hand up. Vashisthasana, right hand up, left hand down. Lift the hips up as high as they go and grab the floor with your left hand, like you're making a little tiger paw with your left hand. Coming into an elbow side plank. So I'm going to face away from you. Your right hand, falling over. Your right hand comes down to the floor, right elbow to the floor. Lift your left hand up. You're now in an elbow plank on the other side. So right hand down, left arm up. Come into a normal elbow plank. So bring the left elbow to the floor. Straight line from the crown of your head down to your heel. We are back to our shrug. So melt the heart down towards the floor and then push into the floor with the elbows, lift the heart away. Make sure your hips are very tucked under. If you need to, you can do this on your knees. You've got 2 more. Holding at the top of the shrug, coming into dolphin. So walk your feet in towards your elbows and then press your chest back to your thighs. Again, just like downward dog, I don't mind if your legs are bent. It's more about creating a straight line from your elbows up to your hips. Separate your hands, bring your palms flat to the if you can lift both elbows at the same time, and we're back in downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here before we come to the other side. If there's any movement or anything you would like to do in your downward dog, feel free. Second side, lifting the left leg up 3-legged, bend the knee, roll the hip, press the chest back to the right thigh, look forward, step the left foot in between the hands. Back knee comes down to the floor, you can untuck the toes. Right hand is flat, circling into the left shoulder. So again, just being really mindful of your shoulder. Just noticing where in the circle feels a little bit tight, a little bit sticky, a little bit clunky, and just going slowly through that part of the circle. 3 big circles in one direction, and then 3 big circles in the opposite direction. Think about taking a breath in as you reach back behind you, and a breath out as you sweep the fingers close to the floor. When you've done your 6 circles, connect your chest to your thigh and start to move back and forward. So you move back until the chest starts to lift off, and that's your signal that it's time to move forward. So you're just working between the left hamstring, the back of the left leg, and the right hip flexor, so the front of the right hip. As you come back, you can flex that front foot. So we're just getting into the calf as well, a bonus stretch. 2 more of these. And so the next time you find yourself in your lunge, stay there. Right hand to the floor, left hand to the knee, look over the left shoulder, try and squeeze your right heel into your backside. So we're just using our active flexibility here, just using our hamstring to pull the heel in closer to the backside. Really grab the floor with your right hand, okay? Little tiger pause and come into side plank. So right foot to the floor, transition back, Vashisthasana, side plank. Left hand high. Make sure your right hand is directly underneath your right shoulder and grab the floor, tiger pause. Coming to side plank on the elbow, left hand threads under. You're coming to the other side now, right hand up. Again, make sure elbow is directly under the shoulder. Pull the hips up away from the floor. Coming into a normal elbow plank, so right elbow to the floor. And we are back to our shrugs. So letting the heart melt down and then pressing the heart away from the floor, or lifting the heart away from the floor, letting it drop and lift, drop and lift. Last one, drop and lift. Stay in that lifted position. Come into dolphin. So walk your feet in. Legs can absolutely be bent in your dolphin. This time, see if you can touch your nose to your thumbs and then press your chest back to your thighs. 2 more of those, nose to thumbs, chest to thighs. Last one, nose to thumbs, chest to thighs. Really create that lifted feeling so your head is a long way from the floor. Bring your knees to the floor, knees out wide, coming into child's pose. Big toes touching, arms are reaching out in front, head resting down. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Walk your hands back towards you, coming to kneel. And if you would like to grab a quick drink, you can do that now. And then we're going to come and lie back down on our mat. Tiny bit more press work to do. Again, if you don't have a chair or a couch handy, please sort that out now. This is your opportunity. Couches work very well. Highly recommend. So just kneeling on your mat for me. We're going to look at why handstands sometimes don't feel really good. So just naturally, without thinking about it, just bring 2 arms up above your head as far as they go. Take them up as far as they go. Reach them right up. Straight arms, and then lower back down. Do that again and really pay attention to what happens naturally to your rib cage. It naturally flares out. It naturally opens. Release it back down. So handstands feel a little bit uncomfortable because you want to have your hands in this lifted position, but you want your chest to be closed off. So your hips are tucked under, your rib cage is closed, and your arms are up above your head. It feels very unnatural because when we bring our arms up, we naturally want to do this archy flare position. But a handstand is actually this dish kind of shape, which we're going to do now. Pop yourself into Navasana, boat pose. So relaxed Navasana, you can hold on. We're coming down to a low dish, low boat. So extend the legs, the feet aren't touching the floor. Your lower back should be touching the floor. See if you can get your head and shoulders, they're off the floor, but they're only just off the floor. Make it extra hard. Bring your arms up above your head for 5. Push your belly button down. 4, 3, 2, relax, lie down. We're going to do 5 of those. So now you can either have your hands here towards your feet. This is a little bit easier. Or you can have your arms up overhead, a little bit harder. So when you're ready, let's lift up for the first of 5 5-second holds. Go for 5, 4, 3, belly button down, 2, 1, relax, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift up. Remember to make it easier, you bring your hands here towards your feet, 3, 2, 1, relax, 5, 4, 3, 2, lift up. Really glue your legs together, point through your toes and keep your legs really straight and tight. 2, 1, relax back down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 more, lifting up, 5, 4, 3, 2, relax, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, 5, legs tight and straight, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, relax, lie back down. What we're going to do now is a little bit of a challenge for your dish shape, panda rolls. So from your dish, you're going to roll onto your tummy. However, there are 2 little rules. Number 1 is that your feet have to stay together. And number 2 is that your legs and your arms can't touch the floor. So from our dish, we roll onto our tummy, feet stay together, legs and arms don't touch the floor, and then we roll back the way we came. For your next one, you roll the other way. So the first one, you'll roll maybe over the right shoulder, and second one will be over the left shoulder. You're going to do 4 in total. Feet have to stay together. Jeremy, your feet are right near the camera, so I can definitely see that they're not together. 4 in total. So like 2 to the right and 2 to the left. Let's go. Feet don't touch the floor. Feet stay together. Glue them together, guys. Meg, Flora, Seema, all of them together. Much better, Jeremy. So good. So good. Yes, really nice. Beautiful. So like 2 rolling to the right side. So you roll out and back. Then you roll left side out and back. And then again, right side and again, left side. Yay! And then guys, it's time to get your chair or couch or bed or credenza. And what we're going to do is those tension bridges, but they're going to be harder now because your feet are going to be on your item. So that could be couch, could be bed, could be chair, anything. I'm just going to grab my chair. So guys, if you're like me and you do have a loose chair, I definitely recommend popping it on your yoga mat so it doesn't slide around. If you're on a couch, you are sweet because that thing is not going anywhere. So we're going to do 3 tension bridges again. Obviously, if these get out of control hard, please drop it back down to the floor. Yeah, you still want to be able to move this afternoon and brush your hair tomorrow. Let's give this a go. I'll demo 1 and then you guys are going to do 3. So feet will be up on the chair. You're walking your hands out as far as they go while you can still maintain a plank position. And then you're walking your hands in as far as they go. We're trying to come to a handstand shape here, okay? So hands under shoulders and shoulders under hips. I'm really pressing my chest back towards my chair. So we don't want to have closed shoulders in this position. We really want to think about pressing our chest back to our chair. From here, you'll walk back out to your tension bridge as far as you can go, keeping your hips tucked under, keeping a plank shape, and then walk it back in as far as you can, chest pushing back towards your chair or couch. 3 times. Let's go. Do think about grabbing the floor with your little tiger paws, thinking about tucking your hips under when you're out in your tension bridge. Do hold your tension bridge for a couple of seconds. Go on. Good, really nice. Beautiful, Karen, and beautiful Lao Ho, beautiful. Nice, Meg, they look good. Raina, they look great. Raina, you're like me on like a light chair, so just make sure it's on your mat. Good job. So 3 in total, and then you can take a little break because then we're going to level up shrugs and taps. Everybody's favorite thing. Have a tea, whatever you need. So guys, our next level of shrugs and taps, we're going to do 6. So 6 shrugs and 6 taps, okay? And our next level of these is plank, but feet on the chair. So at any point, you can come back to plank with feet on the floor, or even plank with knees on the floor. We've done that as well, okay? I'll demo with feet on the chair. So hands under shoulders, hips are tucked under, grabbing the floor with my little tiger paws, melting the heart down, and then lifting the heart away from the floor. So 6 shrugs. And then feet are apart. Should have said that. Make sure they're hip distance apart. 6 taps. I'm really looking for a controlled lower back down to the floor and no movement or minimal movement through your hips. Your hips are going to want to do this side to side. Really control here so they're not moving, and really make sure we're not going tap onto the floor with our wrist, okay? If it's not a controlled lower, think about going back a level, yeah? So you can either do this on your knees on the floor, on your toes on the floor, or now on your toes on the chair. Let's go. 6 shrugs, 6 taps. And like 1 tap is 1. Does that make sense? So 3 sets of taps. Right, left, right, left, right, left. You're done. Beautiful, Meg. Really good shape. Nice, Karen. Really nice movement. Good, Joel. Fight your hips just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Just keep them. Yes, like that. Very good. Very good. Make sure it's a controlled back return to the floor. Oh my God, Lao, is that you, Rach? Maybe. Anyway, make sure it's a controlled return to the floor. Yeah, a few of you have got this like happening, okay? So make sure we're really placing our hand back down on the floor so we're not going to damage our wrist. You have one more set of these, one more level up. So what we're going to do, remember we did our tension bridge and then we walked it back in? We are going to try and do our shrugs and taps in that position. So feet are up on your chair or your couch. Feet are apart. Walk your hands in as close as they go. 6 shrugs here, keeping the arms straight. And then 6 taps. Please make sure it is a controlled return back down to the floor, okay? If you're slamming your hand back down to the floor, you're damaging your wrists, and I'm not into it. All right. Let's go, 6 shrugs, 6 taps. If you need to, please go back to the plank on the chair. If you need to, please go back to the plank on the floor. 6 shrugs, 6 taps. Grabbing the floor with the hands. Really finding the maximum down and the maximum up in your shrug. Meg, your cat is like, what are you doing? And then is like, I don't care, and walks away. Jeremy, really try to straighten your arms as much as you can. Good. Nice. 6 shrugs, 6 taps. Beautiful control, Annika. Beautiful. Good. Karen, have your feet, oh, it's too late now, you're done, but have your feet a tiny bit wider just so we can have a little bit more control through the hips. So I'm being really picky. They're moving like this. I want them to move, not at all. Good. Guys, roll out your wrists and stand up. We're just going to do some little kick things. So I should have said this at the start. The deal in my online handstand workshop is that we don't fall over backwards, okay? I'm not there to catch you. So provided you do what I say, you shouldn't fall over backwards. So when I say kick up like 10 centimeters off the floor, I mean 10 centimeters off the floor, okay? So we're not at any risk of falling over. So we're going to start to put all this stuff that we've been doing, okay, in class so far, we're going to start to put it all together. So our handstand is very much the cat-cow, it's the cat, and it's the up part of the shrug. I call it cat puke, like a vomiting cat, like, okay? This is the feeling we want. We also want our little tiger paws grabbing the floor as well. What we're going to start to do is a few different kind of donkey kick entries. I'm just going to move my chair and then I will demo. So we're all going to start on our right leg with an underarm entry. Okay, so that means your hands are going to be behind you. I want you to think almost like crescent lunge or warrior two, like we're reaching out when we put our hands down. So you step on your right leg, hands are behind, and here I am reaching. So my body hits a straight line like Superman about here. I'm reaching out. I gently place my hands to the floor. My right leg is bent. Gently place my hands to the floor. And I'm kicking only about 10 centimeters off the floor. Can we have 3 of those, okay, to start off with? So right leg in front, hands behind, reach, become Superman, bend the right knee, tiny little kick up and lower down. 3. Then we'll start to add on. Beautiful, Mihaela, perfect. So Mihaela, you're closing through your shoulders a little bit. Think about pressing your chest back that way towards where your feet came from. Just 3 and then 3 on your left leg, and then we'll start to level this up a little bit. So 3 on the right, 3 on the left. Three on the right, 3 on the left, and then we'll talk about what's going on. All right, we're going to add on, but I'm also going to talk about what's happening. So we're going to add on an overarm entry now. Everything is the same. So we're still going to step on our right leg to start, then it'll be on our left leg. This time, arms are up, like warrior one. Reaching out in front. So here I get to my Superman position. What's happening with quite a few of you is you're closing off through your shoulders, so you're coming to here. Remember when you walked your hand into the chair and then you pressed your chest back to the chair? Or in downward dog and dolphin, I got you to press your chest back. I need that feeling, okay? Pressing the chest back the way you came, so your shoulders stay open, not closed. So it's the difference between here, pressing the chest back, and here, closing off through the shoulders. The next thing that I want, that's some of you, the next thing that I want is tight and straight legs, okay? So your legs have tension the whole way down them into like pointed toes, like little flames are coming out of your toes, okay? Handstands are balancing, and you want your body to be predictable when you're balancing it. So uncooked spaghetti is predictable, it's tight. Cooked spaghetti, which a few of you have got going on with your legs, is unpredictable and is very hard to balance, okay? So we are going to go back. Overarm entry. 3 on the right leg, 3 on the left leg, concentrating on tight, straight legs and open shoulders. So that idea of pushing your chest back the way it came. Joel, everything's good in the upper body. I want tighter legs. And I would love pointed toes because it makes me happy, but I'll let it go because we're in a yoga class. 3 on the right, 3 on the left, and then we're going to add on. We're still only going up 10 centimeters, right? 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 Beautiful flora, really nice. All righty, we are going back to underarm. We're gonna go through the same rotation again. Okay, we're gonna do 3 underarm on the right leg, 3 underarm on the left leg, 3 overarm on the right leg, 3 overarm on the left leg, right? So 12 handstands. What we're concentrating on now, as well as those things, which are still not quite happening, but anyway, I really want this cat coot feeling. All right, let's talk about shoulders first of all. Kind of feeling happening in our handstand. So it's that thing that I spoke about. It's very difficult because our energy is going this way because we're lifting up this way, but I want you to press your chest back this way. But what's happening with quite a few of you is this, okay? So we're arching, we're heading this way, and our shoulders are closing. So it's really important that we're back. Remember this? We're back here, okay, when we're coming into our shape. And what can help with that is kicking 10 centimeters. So a lot of you are like, oh, let's do a handstand, but let's not because we're doing some weird shifts, all right? So very small kick, reaching out in front, very small, concentrating on this shape, little kick, and then back down. What I want to add on this round of 12 is being a seesaw, okay? So your head is attached to your second leg. I'm going to do a few off my left so that I stay like even as well. So my head is going to be attached to my right leg. So after I've done my little kick, as my right leg comes down, my head comes up. So I'm keeping my body in this plank dish shape the whole time. So leg comes down, head comes up. So I'm thinking of pushing the floor away to bring myself back up. We're doing our same rotation, 3 underarm right, 3 underarm left, 3 overarm right, 3 overarm left. Keep it small and concentrate on your body shape. Michelle, that was great shape, but I want the seesaw. Oh, Michelle, yes, never mind, that was great. But really nice shape through your chest. That's looking really good. Mihaela, that's much better. Making sure we come up like a seesaw. Perfect, Karen, great seesaw. Coming up like a seesaw after each one. Really reaching the hands out in front. Same, if you bend into your front leg just a little bit more, reach a little bit more, it's just going to be a little bit more gentle when you place your wrists on the floor. It's not bad, but I think we could just be a little bit more soft with the placement. Erica, yes, that was very nice. Person behind Erica, your feet have to go off the floor, but it was better than before when you were closing your shoulders a lot. Joel, these are looking beautiful. Look at your feet and legs. So good. Joel, see if you can reach out in front just a tiny bit more. Like go a little bit further when you reach into it. Like bend the front knee just a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. I feel the restriction in the hamstrings because like as soon as I try to go over that hamstring, like doesn't have enough range to come back up. But I'll just work on my hamstrings.
Bent legs is also fine, all right, but can I have pointed toes? Go on. So what you can do with the like shorter hamstrings is here, it can still be bent, yeah, but can still have tension. What I'm worried about in your legs is that there's no tension. It's like,
yeah, okay, cool.
You're on a rest once you've done your 12. Karen's like, oh, thank God. Have a drink, have a drink. I'm going to have a drink. Move on to my second beverage. Erica, these are looking really nice. Erica's person behind Erica, so much better. I can't even tell you how much better that is than what it was a minute ago. That is so good. Yes. All right. Are we good? Are we good? Yes. Mr. Erica. Roll it out, guys. So much better though. He's like closed off here. It's awesome. It's really, really good. Roll it out. Alrighty. We are going to take a quick, so I can pause. We're coming back to this. One of those would have felt better than the other. So either underarm or overarm and either right leg or left leg. Yes, one of them would feel better. So choose your favorite one and do 3 more. And then we're going to take a little break for your wrist. Okay, we're going to do some forearm stuff instead. So 3 more of your preferred entry. So it could be arms up, could be arms behind, could be right leg, could be left leg, just whatever your fave one is. 3 more, 3 more. Making sure you're coming up in between each one. Joel, these are just getting better and better. So good. Nice, Flora. Mihaela, just watch your shoulders. They want to close. I want them to stay open. Kayla, are you done? No, never mind. So Kayla, bend your front knee a little more and reach a little bit further out in front of you. Better. A little bit slower with putting the hands down, so being a little bit more gentle on the wrist. All right, let's pop into some dolphin. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to play around with forearm stands. We're going to use the chair, couch, whatever you've got. So for our forearm stands, lots of different options. I know I don't have a yoga block, we'll pretend. Traditional like yoga alignment, like sometimes get you to like put a yoga block in between your hands, but let's just talk about that now. So pop your arms up and grab an imaginary yoga block. Imaginary is fine. Imaginary is totally fine. Okay. You must, or get a real one. Overachiever, Mihaela. Very good. Up. Very nice, Michelle. So keep your forearms parallel with each other. Okay. They have to stay parallel. This is not parallel. All right. So they have to stay parallel. Lift your elbows up as high as they go. They have to stay parallel. Parallel. Yeah. I was talking to you, Raina. Okay. So like drive your elbows in towards each other. Great. Lower down. If you are holding a yoga block, put it down. Bring your hands close together now. Keep your elbows parallel with each other. and see if your elbows go a little bit further. Yeah, so it's just shoulder mobility. Some of you will be able to like get them right up here. I cannot, but it is easier if we make more of this triangle shape, because it means we can get that openness through our shoulders that we're after. It's the same as a handstand, okay? Whereas if we're here, we're closed through the shoulder. So we're gonna have a little play around with forearm stands. I'm just gonna give you some options now, and I'll shout them out so we remember. So an option is to have your palms flat on the floor, hands close together. Another option is to cup one hand inside the other hand, either way. And another option is to interlace your fingers. But if you do interlace your fingers, take this pinky finger, the bottom one, and just pop it on the inside. So it would look like this. So from the bottom to the inside. I'm just going to have a little play around with forearm stands now, Pincha Mayurasana. Just like handstands, one of these will feel better for you, and that's the one you should do. Yeah. Dolphin. Let's go. Let's start with the hands flat on the floor. Let's do this option. So hands close together, elbows directly under the shoulders, and pop yourself up into dolphin. Walk your feet in close. You can absolutely bend your knees and then press your chest back to your thighs. So Raina, actually step your feet back further and then move your chest towards your thighs more. So I really want this, I really want at the moment, I want this straight line from your elbows up to your butt. Everybody lift your right leg up in the air, right leg up. See if you can bring your right knee to your chest, like compress yourself. Yes, but keep pressing your chest back to your thighs. Joel, yes. All right, release it down. Left leg, stick it in the air. Left leg up in the air. Knee to chest and chest to thigh. Michaela, push it back. And release it down, take a break there, very hard. But we're gonna do it on the chair now because, hey, why not make it harder? So now maybe we could try the cupped hand versions, and you can also take breaks in this one. So we're gonna give this a go. Coming into our forearm stand with our feet on the chair. So please don't lose everything we've been talking about so far, okay? So forearm stand is very much about this up of the shrug, the top of the shrug position. We're gonna try cupped hands, elbows are under the shoulders. You can sort of wander it back in a little bit, press the chest close to the chair, stick one leg up, bring it into the chest. So what happened with a lot of you was when you lifted the leg up, it was fine. And when you brought it into the chest, you did this. You came into this plank position. So what we really want to concentrate on is this compression, knee to the chest, but also pressing the chest back towards your chair or couch. So let's do like 4, so 2 on each leg, 5 seconds each. So actually holding each one. Really thinking about chest, back to chair, and head is not on the floor. Awesome, Meg. You didn't even move. I loved it. The upper body, very good. Raina, just be super careful with your chair, like my chair. Not good. Yes, good, Raina. Really press the chest towards the chair. Joel, you're closing off through your shoulders. Yeah, a lot. Michaela, so we're doing this one on our elbows. So forearm stand, and also, yeah, push your chest back to your chair. We're gonna do what you did in 1 second though, don't worry.
So where should I be looking? Should I be looking like in front of me or at my hands or back behind me? Like what's the best place?
Such a good question, Michelle. We're going to talk about that now. That's so good. So for handstands, my background is like gymnastics and acro and circus. So where we look is in between our hands, which is what we're going to try in just 1 second. when you're learning handstands through like martial arts or like capoeira, for example, they are not looking at the floor, they're looking here because they're like looking at their opponent, okay? But today, what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do this on our next one, is we're gonna look at the space in between our thumbs, okay? The space in between our thumbs. The way we look is minimum neck, maximum eyes, okay? So I'm here in my handstand shape. I'm just gonna pop this hand down so you can see what I'm doing, all right? So I'm looking up, maximum eyes, maximum eyes, maximum eyes, minimum neck, just to get there, okay? So that's very different to if I went maximum neck, all right? So maximum eyes, I'm looking with my eyes, and then I do minimum neck, just to be able to look at the space between my hands. Does that make sense? So let's add that on. And what we're gonna do is the same exercise, the forearm stand exercise, leg up, compression up, chest, in handstand. Hey, you'll love it. It's very hard. All right, so hands are under the shoulders. You're grabbing the floor. Don't lose anything that we've been doing so far. Lifting one leg up, bringing it into the chest, but don't let this happen, okay? Press the chest back towards the chair. Maximum eyes, minimum neck, looking to the floor, leg back up and down. We're gonna do 4 of these at 5 seconds each. Grabbing the floor, pushing the floor. And just see how it feels to look at the space between your thumbs. See how that goes. Really press your chest back, Michaela. You've really got to concentrate on your shoulder. Yeah, they just have a natural tendency to close a little bit. So you're going to have to really work against it. But yes, good, Michaela. Joel, they look really nice. Have a rest, roll out the wrist. I'm gonna go.
Emma, that is hard. That is difficult.
Yeah. Wait, you can do all this like on a wall and stuff too. Anyway, yes, but handstands are also hard. Yes. So what I find with handstands, and I think I've done this for some of you in class before, is, let's go over to my mat so I don't make a lot of noise. Most people, when they're trying to do a handstand, it's like kick and hope. It's like, oh, I can't believe that happened. Anyway, they're like, oh, I didn't quite make it. Oh, I overdid it. Oh, enough. Oh, almost. Oh, too much. And then maybe like 1 in 100 actually gets up there. Hey, okay, maybe. But what we're going to look at now is taking that like kick and hope, like guesswork out of it, okay? So the rule on this one, there's lots of rules actually. Joel, this will be hard with tight hamstrings, but we'll talk about it, it's still possible. No jumping, it's the only rule, okay? No jumping. It's gonna be very tempting to jump. You're gonna really wanna jump. Don't jump, okay? No, I'm here, I'm gonna be like this, all right? No jumping. So with this one, we're only gonna do this one on our flexible leg. So we're back to handstand. So only do it on your flexible leg. We're using our hamstring flexibility a little bit, sorry, Joel. And what we're gonna do is try and see if we can get a controlled lift up. When I kick up into a handstand, I come into a handstand 100% of the time, okay? Because I'm not like hoping for the best, all right? So we're just gonna have a try of this. So for this one, what might happen is your leg might come off the chair, it might not, okay? And if it's not, don't jump it off the chair, don't jump, no jumping. You understand? No jumping. Everything is the same that we've been doing. So I'm gonna leave my flexible leg on the chair, and what I wanna do is create some weight over this way, over behind me. So I'm gonna take my left flexible leg up, and then bend it over behind me. And so now if you look, I'm not jumping. I'm coming onto the very tip of my tippity tip toe, and then I'm lifting up just by using my pelvis. I am not jumping. At any point, am I jumping? No jumping. All right, so here's your foot, okay? It's like ballet. It's like on point, so you're trying to come up onto the very tippity tip of the tip toe, okay? And push right up onto the tip toe. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna do it without coming off the chair. Even if you don't come off the chair, we should still start to feel the weight in our hands and still feel how our hands and fingers work to balance a handstand. I'll talk about how we get out if it goes wrong in 1 second. So my not flexible leg comes up and over, and then I come right up onto the tip of the tippity tip toe. If for some reason you've decided to jump, you're just going to turn out to the side and bring your feet off, whatever it is. Look to where you're falling to and bring your feet down, but I would genuinely prefer you not to fall out of it. That would be better. Probably means you jumped. Does this make sense? One more thing. Sorry, should have said this. This is like what we did at the start of the class. Remember when we did three-legged dog? Three-legged dog, we lifted the leg and then we bent the knee and rolled the hip. So it's a little bit of this sideways opening. If you do this, it is good, okay? This is more helpful to help get our leg up so we can start to create the weight over behind us. Just gonna have a little play with this now, just for a moment. Let's go.
Sorry, Emma, can
Yes.
I ask one question? Did you say we're starting with our good leg or the not so good leg?
The flexible leg stays on the chair.
The flexible leg
stays on the chair. The less flexible leg goes in the air, and it's like three-legged dog.
Okay.
So lifting it up, bending the knee over. Yeah, Meg, maybe make sure the chair's on the couch. More of the tippity tiptoe, Flora, like you've come like right over the, yeah, now come onto the tip of the tiptoe. Push out of the toe, push your chest towards the chair, look at the floor between your hands. Yes. Make that top leg heavy, Flora, like think about it coming over towards your head, like your back foot is coming over towards your head. Very good, very good. Meg, don't jump. Meg, very good. If your foot is not coming off the chair, please don't worry and please don't jump. Michelle is bordering on a jump, but it's quite controlled. So, you know, that was good though. Right up on the tippity tiptoe, no jumping. So Joel, almost like push out of that toe just a little bit more, like you're pointing your toe, the one that's on the block. Does that make sense? So you've got like a flexed foot on the block. I want you to push because it's going to just bring you over that way a little bit more. Good, Flora. Bring the top leg over towards your head. Yes, like that, and come onto the tip of the tiptoe. And then if you just arch your pelvis just a tiny bit, like a little bit of a back bend. Yes, great, Flora, really, really good. More pointed toes, Meg, less jumping, like more tip of the tiptoe. That's what I mean by pointed toes, explain myself. All righty, guys, we're almost at the end before we start like cooling down and calming down. What I'd love to try is this very same exercise, but in a forearm stand. So this one, the abort mission is slightly different. We'll talk about it. So we're gonna do the same activity, bringing your leg up and over, like downward dog, like three-legged dog, sorry. And then seeing if we can do that lift just with our pelvis rather than jumping, making it a controlled lift rather than a jump and pray. If this one goes bad, you bring your chin into your chest. It's still not very good for you to come out that way. So if we could avoid that, that would be amazing. The way we avoid that is by keeping our shoulders open, so that's pushing the chest back towards the chair, and by not jumping. That will also help. So this is also your opportunity to play around with those different hand positions for your forearm stand and just find your favorite one. I had somebody, I taught a workshop the other day, and they like to use like fists beside each other. So have a little muck around, see which one feels better for you. So everything else is going to be the same. Elbows are directly under the shoulders, feet are up on the chair. Bring the leg up and over like three-legged dog, and then come onto the tips of the tippity tiptoes, and just see if we can do this. So you can see my pelvis is what's moving. Yeah, I'm arching my low back, and then I'm tucking my hips in, but I'm not doing anything with my upper body. If this goes to hell in a handbasket, bring your chin to your chest, and you will be okay, but it's not the best thing you can do for yourself on a Sunday afternoon, all right? So I would prefer if we tried to keep the shoulders open by pushing the chest back and not jumping. That will also help. Let's give this one a go. Again, flexible leg stays on the chair, less flexible leg not on the chair. And tip of the tiptoe, Flora, come right up onto the tip of it, like ballet. Yes. Yep, let your other leg just get heavy. You're there, it's like 1 centimeter. Joel, I would actually get you to bend that top leg, like trying to, imagine you're bringing your top leg, your up leg, up and over towards your head, and that's just, it'll help. You'll be able to do this 100%. Does that make sense? To bend it instead of straight. It'll just give you a little bit more weight over behind you, which is what we want. Not jumping, Meg. Yes, yes. Look at your cat's disapproving stare. Come right up onto the tiptoes, Kayla. It's there. Come right up like ballet, like right up on point, which is this part of your toe. Yeah, Joel, see? Good, Karen. Right up on tippy toe, push out of the toe, push, push. Yes, Karen. Oh my God, like ballet. So good. Karen, that was really nice. It's really getting there. Flora's done. Meg, just go a little bit slower. You're there. You 100% can do this. Push your chest a little more, and you're doing the right thing by arching your back. It's definitely there. Just go a tiny bit slower and think about like this action with your pelvis to tip it over. But keep opening through the chest, because you've got this tendency to close just a little bit, but it's definitely starting to close rather than staying open.
My shoulders are getting tired.
Okay. Okay. All right. Are we almost at that time? I think we're almost at that time. If you want to do 1 or 2 more, this is pretty much the end. So if there's anything else you would like to do, now is your opportunity. Keep the shoulders open, Joel. Push your chest, chest, not head, chest, not head. Michelle, your elbows actually look a little bit wide, like a little bit wider than your shoulders. Try to have them in just a tiny bit so they're directly underneath.
I always overestimate how big my shoulders are. I'm like, my shoulders are this huge.
I'm trying the Hulk. Yeah, they're a little bit small. Michaela, push your chest back to the chair. Push out of the toe, Annika, like pointed toe. Yes, like that. Bring your top leg over towards your head, Annika, and then tilt your pelvis. Like give me a little anterior tilt slowly. Oh, it's there. It's really there. Flora, it's there as well. Yes, Flora. Meg is summarizing the class beautifully. Thank you. All righty. Guys, you are done. Sort of. We're gonna stretch out and stuff now. But maybe grab a drink. Keep your chair, couch, whatever it is, keep it around. And we're just gonna do a little bit more like shoulder opening. We're definitely gonna like love out our wrists for a minute. But have a drink before you do any of that.
It's so tricky to, in your head, get the idea that you want to arch, because we're always, when we're practicing handstand, it's like never arch, just keep it tucked. So like I found that tricky to try and, oh, it's okay to arch in this exercise.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right. Do you feel, is there a point that you're arching too much or not? Not really. Like you're still able to.
Not for this one, as long as this is still in that shape. We could talk about this in like another workshop, or soon I'm going to be teaching handstands at Maya Movement on Wednesday nights, and we'll discuss all these things. But yeah, so it's just a way of, for me, this is just, I've started teaching this when I'm teaching these at-home Zoom classes, because it's for a way that people who are ready to kind of press and control up can without me spotting them. Like, so for me, this was something I'm like, oh, okay, this is a great way to teach handstands in lockdown, because it can give people that airtime without that guess and hope kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. Let's have a quick chat about handstands. I'll go over here and chat. So I find what happens a lot with handstands is people just kind of kick up into this banana shape, and it works, banana shape holds, but it's not really a thing. So for a handstand, straight edge handstand, which is what we've pretty much been working on today, you want open shoulders, closed chest, closed hips. Later in my classes at Maya, coming soon, what we'll start to explore is things like scorpion handstands, where you have closed shoulders, open chest, and open hips, and also hollow backs, where we have open shoulders, open chest, and open hips. But what I find is what most people are doing is they're kind of taking bits of all these techniques, smushing it together and calling it a handstand. And it's not. They're three separate skills. They're three separate techniques. So what we'll do when we have more classes together is start to go through the different things so that you guys have a clear understanding in your body of like, oh yeah, this is a scorpion. This is why I'm doing this like this. Or this is a hollow back. This is why this is happening like this in my body. But for this, so this is like a modified puppy press. So it's a way of getting into a press handstand in a very controlled way, which is what I'm all about when I'm teaching online, because I'm not there to catch you. So that's why I'm getting you to arch your pelvis, because it gives you that kind of, it's like when you're walking on a tightrope and you've got like a really long bar to help you balance, or a really long pole to help you balance. That's what I'm getting you to do with your legs. So you've got a bit more time to make some corrections and adjustments before you fall. Basically, does that answer that, Flora? Kind of. Yes, a little bit, maybe. All right, guys, grab your chair, couch, bench thing, whatever you've been using, head on over. Let's look at a couple of different stretches that you can do for handstands and forearm stands. So to start out with, we're going to have hands on the chair, dropping the chest down. Hips over knees. Don't, for this first one, drop the chest down. So for this first one, we're going to have our hands up, but we're going to close off through our rib cage. So actually doing a handstand shape. Okay, so pull your bottom ribs back into your body, like knit your ribs together, tuck your hips under, and keep your hands or your wrists up on the chair or bench or couch or whatever it is you're using. So ribs are tucked in, you're actually in a handstand shape. Think about rolling the outside edges of your armpits towards the floor, but still holding in a handstand shape. And now letting go of the handstand shape, sinking the chest down. So drop the chest down towards the floor, let the head drop. Make sure your hips are over your knees. So it's a bit like Anahatasana or puppy pose. Still rolling outside edges of armpits down towards the floor. And then we're going to alternate between these two shapes. Okay, so you're going to come up to your handstand shape, knit your ribs in together, and then sink your chest down to the floor. And just find a breath pattern that works for you. I like to breathe out as I come up into the handstand and breathe in at the bottom, but the opposite might work for you. So just find a breath pattern that works and alternate between those two shapes. Still thinking about rolling the outside edges of your armpits down towards the floor. Like your scapula, your shoulder blades, are hugging around your body. 3 more of these. And release, coming off the chair with your arms a little bit of a rest. So just kneeling on your mat, knees are apart, palms out in front, fingertips down, palms down, and then shift back just a little bit. So we're coming into this forearm stretch. And to start off with here, we're going to have our palms fully flat on the floor. So make sure the heel of the hand is down on the floor. And now make this a little more intense. Pull back a little bit more so the heel of the hand is starting to lift off the floor, maybe like 1 millimeter or 2, not very much. Release, so come forward, take your hands out. We're going to go the other way. So now fingertips down towards the floor, backs of the hands to the floor. We're going to do the same thing. So start to peel back and have the feeling that you're brushing your hand forward. So you're trying to pull your knuckles forward in front of you. So here, backs of the hands are on the floor. And now start to make it a little more intense. Pull back a little bit more. Keep pressing the knuckles forward. So the backs of the hands, maybe 0.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter coming off the floor. Release. Palms to the floor, fingertips out to the side. Bring the heels of the hands quite close together and then bend the elbows out over the middle fingers. So palms to the floor, fingers out to the side, and your elbows head out, bent over the middle fingers. They won't bend very far. Coming into, keep your hands as they are. And we're going to do that same activity we did at the start of the class, kind of. So now you bring the eyes of the elbows forward. So push the elbows tips forward and then bend them out to the sides. They won't bend very far. So eyes of the elbows forward, bend out to the side. Eyes of the elbows forward, bend out to the sides. Take a couple more of these. Last one. And now make fists, so thumbs are on the outside, and make quite a tight fist. So you want your fingernails to be touching your palms the whole time. So keep the fingernails in, and we're just going to kind of roll around on our fists. So just lots of different directions, lots of different positions, but try and keep all 4 fingernails touching the palms. Release coming up. Wrap one arm round in front, pull it in. Keep your shoulder down out of your ear. Make sure your arm is parallel with the floor. Spread out your fingers and then flip your thumb down towards the floor. Take this arm up behind your head. So don't just yank the elbow across. Think about your fingertips being on your shoulder blade, and then you're just trying to get your fingertips further down your shoulder blade. So not just pulling the arm over, trying to get the fingers further down, and then pull your bottom rib back in. So bottom rib knits back in. That same thing we've been talking about today. Same thing on the other side. So wrap the other arm around in front, pull it in, shoulder down, arm parallel with the floor. Spread out the fingers and flip. So palm forward and thumb down. And just like we did on the other side, take it up and over. So again, fingers are on the shoulder blade, and this hand is just helping the fingers come a little further down the shoulder blade. Bottom rib pulls back into your body. Reach your hands around behind, interlace your fingers. Try to get your palms together, roll the shoulders back, just opening up through the front of the chest for a couple of deep breaths here. So think about inhaling up into your collarbone. Folding the head and chest forward now, keep the hands interlaced. Try to bring the fingers all the way over towards the floor. Lifting all the way back up. If you want to add on a little bit of intensity, pop yourself into toes pose. So tuck your toes under. You don't have to do this, it's optional. And bring your arms up like cactus arms. Keep the elbows where they are, and then try to bring the hands down towards the floor. Mine don't go very far. And then back up. We're going to do 5 more of these. So from cactus to scarecrow, 5. 4, really press the palms back. So we're working on that rotation through the shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. And guys, to finish our workshop today, we're doing the split, my favorite split, which is finger split. So like your hand is a little man, index fingers forward and middle fingers back, coming into the split. You can untuck your toes now. So just like normal splits, you're trying to get your finger pelvis down on the floor. So index finger forward, middle finger back, both hands. Middle fingers forward, and now it's like you've got 2 back legs. You've got the index finger and the ring finger. Still trying to get your finger pelvis flat to the floor. Change, moving on to the ring finger, so ring fingers forward. Change, moving on to the pinky finger, so pinky fingers forward. And finally, thumbs back and index fingers forward. So we're stretching out this skin here between the thumb and the index finger. Give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle. Just going to move away from things. What you're going to do, it's like playing the piano. So you're just swinging the arms open, but also moving the fingers at the same time. So you want to get an opening through the chest at the back of the swing, just wiggling the fingers. And that is the end of our workshop today. Thank you so much for joining me for your Sunday lunchtime. If you have any questions, you can absolutely ask now. And I hope to see you all in person very soon. But thank you so much. That was really good. You did really well. These are all great exercises that you can clearly do at home because you've just done them at home. So please do any of them. They don't take very long. 30 seconds makes a big difference to your arm balance ability. Thank you.